Well, hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. So, I want to respond to an article that I read where Sunny Hostin, one of the co hosts of that goofy show called The View, I don't even know why that show still is running. All the negative criticism I hear about it, the clips that I've seen, and the things that I've heard these women say, I don't see why the show is still on TV. I just don't. But anyway, I guess people brainwashed enough to watch it. But anyway, she basically made a remark that's getting a lot of backlash. And she's basically said that when she sees the American flag in certain neighborhoods, she gets nervous. She feels unsafe. Now, this is literally what she said. She says, I feel unsafe when I see it in neighborhoods with American flags, And and her statement was really based on that image of those patriots. I believe it was a group of patriots or there's some kind of a conservative group or whatever kind of group this was. But it is now gone viral, and it's in reference to these nationalists, white nationalists, are on a bus or some kind of bus or train, and it's a black girl sitting next to them, right? She's sitting down, and they're standing up, and they have on these masks. They have on these masks, and they're wearing American flags, and that's where Sunny Hostin's, or is that how you pronounce her name, Sunny Hostin or Hostin? I mean, I don't know, but that's where that's coming from. So she's saying because she saw this image, that she's afraid and feels unsafe in certain neighborhoods where they have the American flag. Now, that's one of the goofiest things that I've ever heard in my life. But I'm going to read you a portion of this article, and we're going to get into this. And I'm going to give you my opinion on whether or not you and I and any American should be afraid when we see people wearing the American flag or have the American flag up in the neighborhoods. I'm going to give you my opinion on whether or not we should be afraid of that or not. Okay, so let's get right into this. The View Co-host Sunny Hostin, whatever, spark, and I'll say this. Let me say this. Some people have criticized me for mispronouncing people's names. I'm not good with these names, and I apologize for that. But at the same time, it's very hard for me to respect the pronouncing of your name when you are a person that consistently says some of the most boneheaded things that anyone could ever say. Now, I'm not saying that all of my opinions are the most intelligent, articulate opinions. They're not, obviously. Everybody has their own opinion. But at least I try to be reasonable, okay? The stuff that she says and the stuff that these people on The View say, they are not reasonable. 99.9% of the time, they are not reasonable. You all know that, okay? Everybody that bothers to watch that dreadful show knows that. So if you're consistently saying goofy things out of your mouth, it's hard for me to have any kind of respect to pronounce your name right, okay? I'm not going to spend all of my time trying to pronounce their name right when you can't say anything out of your mouth that's worth even articulating or worth even contemplating or worth even thinking about that's edifying. Why? So anyway, let's go on. The View Co-host Sunny Hostin sparked backlash after claiming that seeing neighborhoods covered in American flags can make her feel, quote, unsafe, while also comparing a person wearing an American flag on their hat to wearing a hood, quote, hood. And you know what she's talking about, the KKK hood, right? Okay, which is weird, right? But we're go on. Hostin made the comments during a discussion about America's recent 250th anniversary celebration and the state of the country. It's always that. The left, is she a Republican, or is she supposed to be a Republican, or is she the left? The left, if she's the left, it makes sense. It makes sense. If she's liberal, it makes sense, because I haven't heard one liberal on any of these shows pronounce their love for America. They seem to me to hate America and everything it stands for, the American flag, its institutions. They just hate it for whatever reason. I mean, I haven't heard of any liberal that say they love America. I'm not saying that none do, so don't get on here tripping and getting butt hurt. I'm not saying that any doesn't, but I have not heard of any, black or white, that have shown their allegiance to America or shown their love towards America. I have not heard it at all. They're always, whenever it comes to something that's uniquely American, liberals always have something negative to say about it. Let me give you a word of advice, liberals, okay? Those who are so hateful towards America, okay? I'm making a distinction here. Let me give you a word of advice. Leave. Leave. Because I know you have the money. And if you don't, you can save up the money and go to one of these third world communist countries, ideology that you admire anyway and that you claim is better than capitalism. Why don't you go over there? And I'm serious about this, man. I'm serious as 18 heart attacks. Leave our country because you're not helping us. You're keeping us divided but with your hate and rhetoric towards the country. Why don't you save up your money if you don't have it and leave the country? That's what you do. We don't need you. We don't need your taxes. We don't need your hate. Just leave. I mean, I pray the best for you. But what's the point? What's the point in staying here if you're going to hate the country? Anyway, that's my bit of advice. Anyway, if she's a liberal, it makes sense. It makes sense. Because they never say anything, particularly these talking heads, never say anything positive about this country that I have heard. Okay? Anyway. She made the comment during the discussion about America's recent 250th anniversary celebration and the state of the country. The conversation turned to a viral image showing members of a group of masked men from the controversial organization Patriot Front riding the Washington, D.C. metro while wearing American flag-style insignias. And that's what I was referencing, right? While condemning the group, Houston argued that the American flag itself has been co-opted and weaponized. Yeah, I agree it's been co-opted and weaponized, but not the way she thinks it is. Prompting criticism from those who believe her comments unfairly associate one of America's most important national symbols with specific groups. During the conversation, Houston revisited similar remarks she made on The View in 2021, saying her feelings have not changed. Of course not. She's a communist-loving nutbag, so of course not. Quote, I said this on this show many, many years ago because this is my 10th year on the show, Houston said. Well, 2021 is not many, many years ago if that's what she's referencing. It's just a few years ago, knucklehead. I mean, but anyway, I said there are times when I walk into a community, and these are her words supposedly, and I see American flags all over the community, and I suddenly feel unsafe because there's a section of this country that has co-opted the American flag. Houston's remark immediately drew pushback from critics who argued that millions of Americans fly the flag outside their homes as a symbol of national pride, military service, family tradition, or appreciation for the country. To those critics, the suggestion that neighborhoods displaying the American flag could be viewed as threatening crossed a line from criticizing specific groups into casting suspicion on everyday Americans expressing patriotism. I see Marxism in this I see Marxism big time. Specific groups. That's all, and that's all I'm gonna read right there. That's all I'm gonna read. That's all I can stomach to read. I've read all of it. You can go to NewsBreak and read the rest of it if you want. That's all I'm going to read right there. You get the gist of what's going on. First of all, just making a comment on that last paragraph I just read, I can see Marxism all in there. Specific groups, because that's what Marxists do. Their purpose is to inflame and enrage specific groups of people to pit them against each other. Why don't people see that? Why don't people see? Have anybody asked a question, man? Why are we so divided in this country right now? Is it because systemic racists and white supremacy is keeping us divided, or is someone on the outside keeping us divided? I'll tell you who's keeping us divided: the Marxists, who have infiltrated our school systems, infiltrated our entertainment industry, infiltrated our politics, infiltrated our religious groups. Believe it or not, you got Marxists posing as pastors. Those are the ones keeping up the division, and this goes right over people's heads because they brainwashed. They're gone. The brains are gone. But anyway, I'm rambling. I just wanted to respond to what Sunny Hostin said, Hostin Houston, whatever. First of all, what she said is stupid. That's my response. It's stupid. I mean, what do you want me to say? As the critics were saying, there are millions of people that have flags in their neighborhoods, millions of people that wear flags on their shirts, whatever, black and white, who are trying to show national pride or pride for their country. They start saying, "Look, I'm proud of my country. I'm not ashamed to be an American, and I don't." And to show you that I'm not ashamed to be an American, I'm gonna raise my flag up in front of my house and show you that I'm not afraid to be an American. I'm not ashamed to be an American. It kills me. It kills me how many Americans have been so divided and blinded by the Marxists. It kills me. And here's the reason why I say it kills me. Because someone from another country can raise their flags up and no one will say anything. No one will bat an eye. Particularly the liberals. They won't bat an eye. The liberals won't bat an eye. They won't say anything if someone from another country, sometimes illegally, come here, raise their flags up, and they can show pride in their country, even though they're in this country. They can show pride in their country. But God Almighty, if you as an American-born citizen raises a flag or even talks about the flag, so to speak, as a symbol of pride, you're hated. You're ridiculed. Think about that for a moment. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Were we all born hating America? No. We have been divided against each other by the Marxists. Wake up, America. I've been talking about this for years, true years and years, not that crap Sunny used to be talking about when it's only been 4 years. I've been talking about it for years and years, okay? For her to make that statement is asinine, at the very least, because millions of Americans, black and white, wear the American flag. They raise their American flags up in their neighborhoods, and they are not a threat. It's the people that infiltrate this country, and it's the people that come here illegally that's the threat, you dingleberry. And then to make the statement, when she said, when I see the American flag, I think about the hoods. Now, regardless of what you may think, and I'm going to make a comment about those men on the train, because I saw that picture. Why would you associate the American flag with a hood? I guarantee you, Sunny Hostin, posting, whatever, was probably never approached by a KKK member. Now, is it a possibility she may have been? Maybe. But I'm pretty sure, because that's what she's talking about when she sees the American flag, she sees the hood. She thinks of hoods or sees the hoods. She's talking about them KKK hoods, obviously. Really? Really? What? Who? How dumb do you have to be to believe something like that? How crazy do you have to believe what she just said? Are you serious? The KKK was the most anti-American group in America at the time and still is. That's not American. Racism is not American. America was not founded on racism. That's a bunch of nonsense. And racism from any group is un-American. Period. Bottom line. So to say that to associate that with associate the American flag with the hoods that KKK members wear is totally unthinking, uninformed, and just plain goofy on her part. How much is this woman getting paid? How much are these people getting paid to spin this Marxist rhetoric? How much are they getting paid? I don't know. Maybe I should start becoming a Marxist. Maybe, because it's so easy. It's so easy to hate all the good stuff. It's so easy. It takes effort to do the right thing. It takes effort to be an American now. It takes effort to be proud of your country. It takes effort to love children and not want to abort them. It takes effort to live a straight life. And what do I mean by live a straight life? I mean, it takes effort because being straight now is considered evil now by the LGBT community, alphabet community now. They get favors where we don't get favors. It takes effort to have morals and values in our country right now. It doesn't take effort to be a liar. It doesn't take effort to join a violent group like the Black Lives Matter and Antifa and others. It don't take any effort. All you got to do is be angry and mad and resentful, and you in, baby. because that's what they use. They use they use that fuel of anger and resentment in people who are already angry and resentful and bitter and don't know why. These Marxist groups use those individuals. Those are individuals they want. They don't want thinkers. They don't want people who have information and have knowledge on all the different sides. They don't want that because you're too conflicting to them. Maybe I should join them groups. Being sarcastic, but you get what I'm saying. Because it's so easy. And I can make tons of money. I don't make any money doing what I'm doing here. I'm getting shadow banned on this YouTube channel. I know I am. I know I'm getting shadow banned. Because it isn't because I don't do good commentary. I'm not the best commentator here, but I do give some good commentary, some entertaining commentary. Okay? So I don't want to hear that. Well, no, I'm being shadow banned. But I guarantee you, if I was a liberal, I wouldn't be. If I guarantee you, if I spun all that divisive hatred for our country, we wear an American flag. That reminds me of the KKK. Man, come on. Oh, the algorithms will be all over me trying to push and promote my videos. It's people like Sunny Hostin, Hostin, whatever, that keep this country divided by saying foolish things like this. And it's time for America to wake up and smell the coffee. But let me say this, and I'm going to end this, because I said I was going to make a comment about that video, that image of those patriot people, whatever, that supposedly a controversial group. I've heard people in red, people saying things like, man, she's in danger. Oh, my goodness. The left just ran with it. Oh, look at this. Woo, look at this. And all it is, you knuckleheads, is a picture of these people with their mask on. Okay. And there's a black girl sitting. There don't look to be no fear in their eyes. That's all it is. We don't see any violence. We don't see any kind of attacks against her. And I'm pretty sure they did not attack her. What's my point? My point is, chances are you're probably not going to have an issue with groups like that. You're probably not. Now, I'm not saying that a civil war ain't coming, because I believe it will come. But I believe there's going to be a civil war, not because white people hate black people and black people hate white people, but because Marxists are poisoning their minds and pitting them against each other. The civil war will be created by outside forces. That's why I believe it's going to happen. Because when the nudie swoop hits the nudie swoop, blacks and whites, they get along. Until you have these nasty, demonic, evil Marxists planting stupidity in their brains. A united people can come against these idiots. Divided people is what they want. You won't be able to come against them. Sunny Hostin is nothing more than a tool for the Marxists. Bottom line, whether she realizes it or not, she is. But anyway, seeing the group, you're probably not going to have an issue. But I guarantee you this. If that girl was white and all those people around her were black from the Black Lives Matter, she probably would get assaulted. Probably would. Or if the girl was white and the people around her didn't have to be necessarily Black Lives Matter, but were Antifa or any other far left radical group, and that white girl was representing some conservative view, it'd been on like Donkey Kong on her. Because they'd have been all on her like flies on doo-doo. Because that's how they are. They've been brainwashed into hating the country. But anyway, that's what I had to say. What she said is totally uninformed, it's goofy, and it's silly. And it's keeping the division going. What she just said has no basis in logic or fact whatsoever. And if it does, I don't know anything about it. But I highly doubt it. Anyway, if somebody brings it to me, well, yeah, man, please. Showing an image, it doesn't ensure violence. Violence ensures violence. And the images of Black Lives Matter back in the 2020, where they were assaulting people physically, wasn't just an image, a picture. It was doing it live. And you had reporters filming it and saying stupid stuff like, well, you know, they're oppressed and they're just crying out. Or they're oppressed and they're crying out by tearing up their own communities and destroying stores owned by black people. Y'all about the dumbest piece of trash in the history of the world. I'm sorry. I'm taking back what I said because they are. I'm not taking it back. I'm not apologizing. I'm harsh because people are stupid. When people start being smart, then I won't be harsh. Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot be professional towards these people. That's why I don't have conversations with them. Because you're gone, you're dead. Why are we going to have a conversation? Let me say this and I'm going to end it. Brandon Tatum, whom I love and admire, had a discussion, or I guess a debate or discussion with some guy, I forget his name, white liberal. And that man, that white liberal, would not allow Brandon to say anything. He was so angry. He was so filled with anger and rage at a black conservative, Brandon T. Tatum. But it was like, man, I want to say, man, would you shut up? But I admire Brandon T. Tatum for holding his peace. Now, I didn't watch the entire clip, okay, because it could have been that Brandon T. Tatum got upset and gave him his middle finger. I don't know. But what I did see, he held his peace. Okay, but this guy was just angry and fussing and just mad, and he just constantly kept interrupting Brandon T. Tatum simply because Brandon T. Tatum is a black conservative, calling him a grifter and calling Brandon T. a grifter, and he doesn't believe in half the stuff he say, just ridiculous stuff. It's that kind of stuff that I see all the time. That's the rage I see. I don't see rage from the right. I don't see rage from conservatives. I see rage on the left. That's what I see. If I'm wrong, let me know in the commentary section, but that's what I see. But anyway, I wanted to make that comment because I wanted to comment on that as well. But I just want to end on that note. I totally disagree with what Sunny Hostin said. Her statement is not founded on facts. It's not founded on reality. It's founded on fabrications and lies, and that's what it is. So what do you guys think about what this woman said? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.